and welcome to my channel. Today I am interviewing Monica the Black. Now she is a brand new content creator. Her channel was created because of Wooden Potatoes content creation competition. So I hope you show her some love and enjoy the interview. Hello and welcome to my channel. Please introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Monica from Game 7 Life, and I make monthly guides for Guild Wars 2 and Let's Plays every other day with a YouTuber who was actually interviewed here before, Farah.
Tell me, so you're a gamer. You love gaming?
Mm-hmm. Love it.
What was the first game that you ever played?
It was actually called Neverwinter Nights. I was about 5 years old when I played it, so I was kind of sucky. But my dad actually still has a sequel, Baldur's Gate, downstairs, so I gotta pick that. I've been meaning to pick that up and play it again. Get some nostalgia in there.
I have the collector's edition of that game.
Oh my god. See, I actually have Neverwinter. I actually have the box for Neverwinter Nights Gold on a shelf, but somewhere along the line I lost the disc for it.
Oh.
So it's just the box.
Oh, that's
but it's like it's in my mementos shelf. I've got a shelf for all the mementos from my life.
That's so sweet. I'm a terrible hoarder of that kind of thing. I drive my husband crazy with just collecting stuff like that, and he's like, "When can we get rid of this stuff?" I'm like, "Never." So that was your first game, but which game made you realize that you were a dyed-in-the-wool gamer, like hardcore?
World of Warcraft, definitely. I mean, I played that game from the time I was 8 until I was almost 14 years old. So, that was definitely the first game that I played that I really got into, and it really made me fall in love with the MMO genre the most.
Oh wow! You see, I'm a WoW junkie. So, what was your first profession? What was your first class that you played in WoW?
I think the first class I played was the priest. I'm thinking, I don't know exactly the first class. I kind of hopped between classes for a while before finally settling on a main who was a really shitty priest. I mean, I was a kid. Of course I was a bad gamer. I was a really bad gamer. So it was a really crappy priest until I was almost out of the game, pretty much.
And, okay, so people want to know, Horde or Alliance?
Alliance.
Yay!
Definitely Alliance.
Alliance. They have much better architecture, I just have to say that. Okay.
I liked Alliance because I was, a kid, and I was like, oh, humans are on this side, so that means they're the good guys. Even though in the World of Warcraft, they're both the good guys. They're just, there was a big disagreement between the two, and they went to war.
Actually, no, the Horde actually invaded Azeroth and murdered lots of people, so that's not entirely true.
Well, that was before a peace treaty was made.
Yes, but they did
between them and what's her name? There was this mage.
Jaina Proudmoore.
Jaina, yeah.
Yeah, they still invaded. I'm just saying. Small technicality. So you loved WoW, and what was the next game on your list after World of Warcraft?
Well, for me, I kind of get stuck on one game at a time. So after World of Warcraft, I hopped around MMOs. I played Swatter, I played Lotro. I did play Guild Wars at launch, although I did leave it. I played the open beta, and then I played a little bit in launch, but since I was playing an Elementalist at the time, which is probably the hardest class you can play as a beginner, I didn't get very far.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, so I really hopped around MMOs. I played Minecraft for a while even. It wasn't until this time coming back I was probably 19 years old or 20 years. I was 20 years old when I came back, but it wasn't until just now, recently, coming back to Guild Wars 2 this time, that I actually have decided to stick to a game again.
Oh wow! And what's holding you in Guild Wars?
Mostly my guild. The reason I decided to make a YouTube channel was because a guildie showed me that there was a Wooden Potatoes contest going on. It was going on last year, where you make a YouTube video that's supposed to get people into Guild Wars 2. And it was to promote Path of Fire mostly.
Mm.
And I was like, you know what? I can do that. I've made some videos in the past, even though I deleted those channels. So, I mean, I have been making videos for various different channels since I was 16. But there's always been basically fails. So I made a video just to see how many, if I can get any, like how successful it can be. And it got like 3,000 views in that time.
Oh, that's marvelous. Well done.
Yeah. It wasn't necessarily about getting Guild Wars 2 or getting Path of Fire. I wasn't planning on placing it all. I was just seeing how many views I could get.
So
yeah.
So you've always been kind of drawn to content creation.
Oh yeah. For a while I did Twitch streaming, but I got hacked, so that kind of got me off of Twitch streaming.
Well, I hope you return to it.
First channel was making Let's Plays for Guild Wars 2. The first time coming back, because I've come back to Guild Wars 2 twice. So the first time coming back, I made Let's Plays, but nobody subscribed to me. Nobody wanted to see it, so eventually I deleted the channel.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah. The second time I made Minecraft Let's Plays and Let's Plays of this game called The Forest. It's basically an open world survival horror meets Minecraft kind of game.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's Minecraft in the sense that you can craft and you can build buildings, but the main point is the survival horror part. I made Let's Plays of that, and I gained a decent following. I had 20 subscribers. Then I became obsessed with my disability. I got into this mindset of like, oh, my autism defines me kind of thing. My autism is the most important part of me because it's the worst part of me or some bullshit like that. I'm cussing a lot. I shouldn't really do that.
Don't worry. It's fine. I can put dead ducks quacking over that. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Yay, quacking ducks. Yeah. So I got into this mindset. So my channel suddenly became something called Diary of an Autistic, where it started out where it was just Diary of an Autistic. I had a side series that wasn't that, and I still played Minecraft and I still played The Forest, but slowly that became my channel. I stopped playing Minecraft, I stopped playing The Forest, I stopped playing any games, and I just got obsessed with it. I just talked about my autism all the time, talked about how terrible it was, talked about different things about it, and it was like, and eventually eventually that mindset faded away, and I realized how stupid that was. So I just deleted the channel because I just got tired. I got tired of being obsessed with my disability. So I deleted that channel, and I took a long break after that from YouTube, but then I came back this time because I've always wanted to do something, make something. Like, I wanted to make my own business, or, support myself in my own way. I don't want to do a 9-to-5 job kind of thing.
Yeah.
I want to have something that I've created myself.
And do you feel like you're getting there now? Do you feel like you've kind of got out of your own way to kind of make it happen?
Oh yeah. My channel, I don't even have 100 subscribers yet, honestly. I've got 78, it says. But it's still honestly like I feel like I'm going to make it this time. I feel like I can make it this time. I can actually do things right. Yeah.
From one content creator to another, I think the best advice that anyone's ever given me, and it was from a big YouTuber, was just make what you want to see, and do it because you enjoy it and you love it. And if you love it enough and you put enough time and effort and energy into it, other people will come and they will watch and they will join you.
Yep, very much.
Yeah,
that's what I've been doing. With the guides. I really love honestly I really love doing the Let's Plays with Feyre. That's the main thing about my channel that I love. But the guides I really like doing because they help me as much as they help my viewers. Because when I start research for the guides, I'm mostly researching things that I want to know how to do or I want to know about. Like for Karma to Damask, which was my very first video, I didn't know the best way to convert Karma to Damask. I didn't know how to get Damask with Karma.
Yeah.
But I knew like the general thing: buy stuff from Karma vendors, put in the Mystic Forge, and then salvage what you get. But I didn't know what the best vendors were. But I needed Damask for my crafting. Making that video really helped me when I was crafting, because I knew how to do it. And you can, make Alonian leather with that same system. You like the same vendors, you can get the materials for Alonian leather as well. So it really helped in that respect. And so since I have tailoring, like I was basically set. So
you make guides for specific things, or do you make like profession guides, or is it more in-game kind of, you need to do this in order to do this?
I make guides for anything in the game that somebody either suggests me or that I want to know about. So I've made achievement guides. I've made some achievement guides, like every Slayer achievement, and I've also made for Halloween a pumpkin carver achievement happened last year.
Oh yeah. What's your favorite guide that you've ever made?
Every Slayer achievement. It's it's my worst performing guide, but it's helped me get achievements. Get the Slayer achievements that I needed. Like Giant Slayer, it's helped me a lot because I've gotten further in Giant Slayer. I haven't completed it yet, but I've gotten further in Giant Slayer than I ever would without it.
Yeah.
The amount of work and time and effort that was put into it is I'm the proudest of it, honestly.
Yeah.
It's the guy that I'm most proud of, because I managed to complete it in a month.
And where do you see your channel going in the future?
I want it to be my job, obviously. But I also I want to have a group of people working with me on my guides. I want to have, editors editing my Let's Plays instead of me doing all the work for that. I want to build a business behind. I want to build a business behind it, kind of thing.
Well, that's not an insignificant undertaking, so I wish you much luck.
Well, I'm gonna have to start making money off of it first. I have a Patreon page set up, although it's not advertised right now. I'm gonna wait until I have several thousand. Wait until I have 1,000 subscribers before I start putting it up there for people to find.
Yeah. Well, Patreon is a very handy way for people who really care about you and who really enjoy your content, can basically buy you a cup of coffee once a month. It's a nice thing to do. I know that I'm very grateful for my patrons, and it's a great way to supplement YouTube income. Let's talk about your character in game. How many characters do you currently have on your account? Because people will be curious about you and how much you play and your characters and that kind of thing. That's all.
Well, most of my characters are centered around my guides, so I don't play them that often.
Do you have a main character?
Yes, my main character is named. It's actually my Discord name, Monica the Black. That's where I got it from. She's a Char Reaper. She's very awesome.
Oh wow!
If you I actually, my stream where I made the where I did the world boss train for the 50 sub special, I played her. That was her that I played.
And what build are you running at the moment?
I was gonna do raids on her, so I have a raid build on. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do raids, so
Was it because you were too nervous, or because you couldn't kind of get into the groove with finding enough people?
My guild does training raids every Saturday. I don't have a full power build just yet. Right now I have almost all power build, except for 2 sets of trinkets. I still have I have some, I think, toughness, ferocity, and power was what I was going for as a build earlier. Before I got this raid build, I was a tanky build.
Right.
Tank / crit. So I had a lot of toughness. I had a lot of precision, and my trinkets had ferocity on them. I still have to replace 2 of my trinkets, but that's it. It
is a bit of a slog to get ready for raiding. So what is your favorite profession combo? For example, I love my Reaper, and I prefer a Shroud Reaper. I know a lot of people like the new Scourge. What's your favorite profession combo with the build?
Actually, I'm the same way. I love a Shroud Reaper.
Oh, nice.
Funnily enough, the raid build that I'm running, the utility skills are all completely switched out. I have skills that give me Shroud, like the Signet that gives me Shroud in combat.
Right.
And honestly, when I'm fighting enemies, I basically gain full Shroud within the first 2 seconds, and then most of the fight I spend in Shroud.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, I love the Shroud. I miss it quite a lot. So what is your preferred game type? So obviously there's World v World, there's PvP, there's PvE, and there's raiding as well, and there's fractals. There's lots to choose from. So where do you find you spend most of your time?
Well, right now I spend most of my time in PvE, but honestly, I really want to get back into fractals, because honestly that is my most preferred game type. It's just in PvE, it's just that I have so many things in PvE that I have to do still. Like, I'm working on making I'm trying to farm a gold so I can buy a bunch of gem store items, so I spend a lot of time in Istan. I still have to finish the storyline. I'm still in Living World Season 3. Mm-hmm. I have to get all the Heart of Thorns masteries. I I'm still trying to get experience for that. Oh my goodness.
It sounds like you could be putting your two loves together. I suggest you get back on Twitch and do all those things on stream where people can follow you.
I really take my time with stuff. I don't like rushing through everything. I like to take my time, go slow with doing things like that. So I would do it on stream if I wasn't constantly taking breaks to do other stuff. I just take my time with everything. It literally took me several months to get to 80 because I just love to take my time with things. And then I see other people getting to 80 within the first few days and I'm like,
As someone who's played the game for a number of years, I'm always on my channel. I'm always trying to encourage new players to jump in. So whether it's for World v World, whether it's for, like when I was talking to Feyre, jumping into role playing, do you have any advice for anyone trying to jump into Guild Wars 2? Things that you wish that someone else had told you before you kind of dived into the game?
You know.
Okay.
Don't spend money on the game. Unless you don't have the time to farm gold, like as much time as I do, don't spend money on the game. Get the and don't get the expansions until you've finished the vanilla storyline. If you're into story, you don't want. I would say if you're into story, don't get expansions until you're done with the vanilla storyline, because I would say if you want to know if you're into story, then you'll want to know what you're getting into with the storyline. Because if that's your main goal, to know the storyline, you'll want to know what you want. You'll want to know if you like the storyline before you buy any expansions. Because it is kind of a hit or miss with the storyline, you know. A lot of people like it, but a lot of people are like, I hate the storyline. I'm glad I'm not in it for the storyline, you know.
Yeah, I mean, as a person who like you, I started before the beta, and I played through, and I've played through all the storyline that there is to offer on multiple characters. And what I will say is that the vanilla story and how they represent it is a completely different to how they represent it in Heart of Thorns, and again how they represent it in Path of Fire. So I agree. Play the free-to-play game first and see if you enjoy the kind of ethos of the game. But I'm not entirely sure I agree with you on the story, because the personal story is just it's completely different, isn't it, to how they moved and how they changed, how they were telling the story going forward. So I think it could be misrepresenting how they do the story now.
The way that the mechanics of the storylines did change, but the way the story, at least for me, the way the storyline was set up, it's not that different. At least the experience for me wasn't that different, aside from the mechanics. I don't know.
I mean, what were the pros and cons for you of the story?
I mean, some of the storyline just seemed a lot really, really cheesy.
I agree with that. Yeah. It gets cheesy at a lot of points, and I don't really like cheesy that much. So, not a Jackie Chan movie fan.
I don't know. I used to love cheesy storylines, but now I guess I like the meta, something that's knows it's cheesy, so it just goes ridiculous with the cheesy. That's fine with me. Or something like Deadpool, where it's not cheesy, and the parts that are cheesy, they make it like meta about it.
I mean, for me, I always found the story it's a bit too vanilla. It's a bit too fluffy kittens. Despite some of the difficult and quite horrifying narratives that they've set up. For example, like Bloodstone Fen is a very, very dark story. But you always, I call it like kidification. They always seem to make it like, they sprinkle the Disney dust on it to make it less gritty. And of course, a lot of the lore in Guild Wars 2 is hidden. You can run through the game and miss everything if you're not interested in it.
The biggest example of that is Tybalt. You don't exactly know what happened to his warband if you just play the main storyline. He hints at it every now and then, but you have to like really dive deep into the lore behind him. You have to like find all these little secret things, and talk to him constantly in the storyline instances before you can actually know the storyline behind it. I still haven't found everything, but I know that there are ways to figure out what happened and why he's in Order of Whispers and not in his warband.
What would you like to see changed in the game? I mean, obviously no game is perfect. What would you like to see changed in Guild Wars 2? So if I crowned you a game god for a day, what would you change with the loot system, with the storytelling? What would you do?
I would say bring back Living World Season 1, make it at least turn it into a set of group story instances.
Oh yes, please.
It doesn't have to be like regular story instances, because I know my guild leader always goes on about the Twisted Marionette, where it's like 5 lanes and each lane has to, gets different chances to fight them. I would say make some group story instances where you can relive season 1 all over again. Not fractals, because that only shows the fights.
Yeah.
As far as I know, there are no actual group story instances, but I would love to see some. And you can have like for the 5 lanes of Twisted Marionette, each player can take 1 lane, so it would be super like dumbed down compared to what it would have been in the original game, but it would still be cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they just hit the main story beats, and of course we've seen them like reuse portions of the city for the bombing of Lions Arch when we playing through the personal story, and we it's one of the first times we meet Tybalt as well in one of those kind of special instanced versions of the city. So I think they have the technology. I fear that they don't have the will to do it. I would totally agree with you. I would love for there to be a replayable season 1. I think that would be awesome. I'd love for them to make the personal story replayable as well.
Yeah, make achievements for the personal story too. That would be great.
That would be awesome, but also so you can explore all the different options, because although all roads lead to Rome, there were different ways to get there, and people only get a chance to go down one of those routes. What's your most epic moment in Guild Wars 2 so far?
My team got 3rd place in a PvP tournament once. And I was top of the leaderboard in each of those matches, even though I'm not big into PvP at all. I don't have my main character is not a PvP character. But apparently I'm really good at PvP. So I got 3rd place in a tournament and top of the leaderboard in that every single match, even though I'm not a PvP character.
Wow, that's wonderful. Congratulations.
Yep.
Much better than me, and terrible. I just mash my face across the keyboard when I play PvP. Now, what is the most balls stupid thing that you've done in Guild Wars 2? Some people say world completion at this point.
Oh. This is actually in a Let's Play. I spent a good 15 minutes failing at the not-so-secret jumping puzzle when I already had the achievement.
Oh.
Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it so I can plug that episode.
There will be links down below to the episode.
It's actually called Not So Secret Fail. So
well, aptly named.
It's episode 30. It's called Not So Secret Fail. There's a montage in there of all the failures, of all the times that I fell or I died or whatever.
That's one of the most painful ones. That is quite painful, especially trying to get the diving goggles. It was terrible.
And the funniest thing was, I could have sworn I didn't have the achievement. I would have sworn on my mother's grave if my mother had a grave.
Maybe you're just repressing the memory because it was so bad the first time.
Oh my god.
Okay.
It was probably I got a mess report. It's guaranteed actually that I got a MES report to do jumping puzzle.
Yeah.
I would not have finished it on my own.
Oh, it's a painful one. It really is a painful one. Right, so what is your most useless talent? Some guy told me he could lick his elbow, which I still think is physically impossible, and I need screenshots for that.
I can lick my elbow.
You can? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Now, would you class that as your most useless talent?
No. Oh god, where is it? This is gonna be right. So, I may or may not be double jointed. I'm not sure. No one has ever diagnosed me or whatever you would call it. But I can pull my legs all the way from behind me to my stomach. So, I can actually, let me see if I can do it right now. I'm not going to take a picture or anything because then you would be able to see me, but I'm just testing to make sure that I'm still stretchy enough. But so
you can pretzel yourself.
Yep. Pretty much. I have trouble doing two legs at a time. But I can do it, and I can just sit there with both of my legs stuck on my stomach. I have to position my feet so that they're hooked on my stomach so that they'll stay. I can be like a contortionist, but only like that. I can't I can also put my arms behind my back and almost lift them to my head.
I am going to be very interested in what people say in the comment section down below about that. Right.
There's probably going to be a lot of dirty comments.
I feel that I think so. A lot of the demographic is a bit pocket miney. So yeah. Okay, last question. Now I'm used to it. You are used to it. Oh gosh, I don't ever get used to it. So we both spend a lot of time in worlds where magic is mundane. But in the mundane real world, what is the closest thing to real magic you've encountered?
Can love be an answer?
It can. Of course it can.
It completely it completely changes the way you think, the way your outlook on life is. It's kind of like mind control.
Well, it is all brain chemistry.
If you know me, you'll know that I did get engaged, even though it is now broken off. We're no longer on speaking terms. And I only recently realized that he wasn't right for me because I was so in love with him for over 2 years. But yeah, so I was head over heels for him for over 2 years. And it just completely changed. It got rid of my actual thinking powers, basically. I should. If I hadn't been in love with him, I would have known from the get-go that he wasn't right for me.
Yeah.
But love changes your outlook on life and changes your outlook on how things work.
Yeah, it interferes with your ability to properly assess situations.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't going to get married until I was 25 anyway. We were going to be engaged for like 4 years. But, and I'm glad I waited. Even though I definitely would not have been able to get married at this time because of money issues. But, yeah. But yeah, so I actually wrote a song called Why Does the Heart Lie? Which is about, you should keep your head on your shoulders. Make sure, when after you've fallen in love, otherwise you're gonna get hurt. And I did that. I didn't do that. So kind of hypocritical of me.
It's just very, very human. And yet you're still advocating for love as the real magic. Are you sure? Would you like to change your answer?
No. It's magic in the sense that it's like mind control.
Yeah.
It takes over your brain, and it's probably like the closest to real mind control that you will ever get to. It's bad. It's not. It can be good magic and it can be bad magic.
That's very true.
It just depends on how sensible you are about it.
It's very hard to be sensible, but I know exactly what you mean. So the last person I interviewed said love because he was deeply in love with his partner. And then someone else said their wife. And I keep thinking about things like science, like Hubble, and us seeing external planets and things like that. And apparently everyone's like love and flowers and roses. And yeah, I'm dead inside, so that's fine. Well, that's the interview. Thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it, and I hope that we can do it again in a couple of years when you're bigger and things have bloomed for your channel.
Thanks for having me. Thank you for having me.
No problem at all. Links to all of her socials are in the comments down below. Please do show this lovely lady some love.
I hope you enjoyed our little chat. The next interview I am desperately trying to sort out for the channel is with the one and only MMO Inks. So fingers crossed I can nail him down to a time. He is a very busy content creator indeed. Now I would like to say a big thank you to Ada, Craig and Ken Schneider and all my fantastic patrons. They allow me to commit the time, energy and effort I do to my content creation. They allow me to do what I love, and I can never thank them all enough. If you are thinking of joining the Guild Wars 2 community, there are referral links below to the free-to-play game, the Heart of Thorns expansion, and the Path of Fire expansion too, thanks to the generosity of ArenaNet and their partner program. Using these referral links directly supports my channel. Now I hope to see you again, but until then, as always, thanks for watching.